All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be breaking down my favorite prop bets here for week 1 of the NFL season. Let's go ahead and get into it. So I already did a deep dive video highlighting all my favorite bets for the week 1 slate. This is just going to be more of a quick video, but it's not really going to be rehashing some of the bets that I already talked about. So here are some of the bets that I already called out. Obviously, Xavier Worthy, reboot. I think that one probably would have hit just looking at how Hollywood Brown did in that game. And then Justin Herbert, that one hit with a lot of ease there. And then just looking at some of these other ones, these have been bumped in some cases. Like Jonathan Taylor's been bumped up a little bit rush attempts wise. Swiss yards have went up a little bit, so no need to bet on those as much. I still like DK Metcalf and Zach Ertz at their lines. I'm still fine with those. And then with the other slip that I gave out, talked about some plus or demon bets, if you will, that I still like. These are still bets that you can get there. Theo Johnson, Tyler Lockett, and Tucker Kraft for over their receptions. I think those are all still solid lines. And we'll talk about Tucker Kraft a little bit more later on in this video. I still like Cortland Sutton. He's still at 4.5. And Jameson Williams, if you guys are betting on that one, 3.5. I still like that one as well. James Conner actually went up a full rush attempt as well. So decent edges with some of those slips there. And it is worth calling out that if you guys are someone that does bet on Prize Picks, they have a free square for Lamar Jackson. And this video will be for everyone as well. Like if you're betting on more traditional sites, it's going to be useful for that as well. But I did want to call that out. Sleeper still has some of their discounts as well available. Better does their daily discounts. And then as well, Underdog has a boosted payout about up to 100%. It's like capped to like $20 as well. I do like to call those out. I know a lot of my audience is more like DFS-based prop sites, but again, going to be useful for traditional prop bettors as well. But I do want to call, if you guys are someone that's maybe never signed up for Sleeper Underdog and are interested in playing there, it is a good time to sign up. They have a lot of those discounts going on and will for about the first month of the season as they're trying to get, honestly, just more users onto their platform. If you guys think you can handle another one and you guys are thinking about signing up, just make sure you use the link in the description below. That's actually just a simple and easy way to help out the channel as well. And when you do, basically all sites are now running out this, when you spend your first $5, you get $50 instantly. Decent deal on those sites. All right, so I'm going to be using Prize Picks to show you guys some of my favorite bets here, but I do want to talk about Tyler Higbee and his receptions here. All right, so I really like the over 2.5 receptions for Higbee going against the Houston Texans. Not really a crazy matchup for him. I'm not too worried about the matchup as a whole, but assuming that he's going to be in his similar role, at least to start the season, we'll see if Ferguson, the rookie tight end, develops into it. But Sean McVay is not someone that typically trusts rookies, especially early on in the season. So I'm expecting we're going to get 70, maybe 80% of the snaps here for Tyler Higbee. And if we look at how he ended the season last year, guys, he was getting targeted heavily. That was a little bit due to, the Rams being a little bit banged up. They're going to be pretty healthy with Devontae Adams and not Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua healthy, good to go there. So yes, the target share is probably going to be a little bit lower, but Higbee looked like his normal self at the end of the season last year. If you remember, before he got injured, he had just gotten a contract extension because he was looking like a solid tight end. And then he got injured, and then it took a while for him to come back. And yes, tight end production can be a little bit fluky game to game. Just random stuff happens. But to me, this seems to be just a very good spot for us to get to. Now, if we look at like Tyler Higbee's projections for this game, he is only projected to get like 2.25 receptions. I'm saying that's wrong. Okay, that's what I'm saying there. And then same thing here with another tight end that I like, Tucker Kraft. Okay, so the projection data is liking him to get about 3.5 receptions, but basically all the sites are going to give us him at 3.5 receptions. This is actually a bet that I used a decent amount on Sleeper with their promos. Him over 3.5 receptions. Underdog, you can get that there as well. Right now on Prize Picks, if you guys are someone betting there, they're only doing 2.5 receptions, or you have to go to 4.5. I don't know if we necessarily need to get there for 4.5, but I am pretty comfortable getting to him for over 3.5 receptions as I had earlier on in the week. Okay, part of the thought process here is that Dontavian Wicks, who is likely to be the receiver number 3 for the Packers, is banged up as well. I'm expecting Jaden Reed to sit. That hasn't been confirmed, but just watching him in practice, just some clips online, doesn't look like he's going to play. And you look at how Tucker Kraft was talked about throughout the offseason from their head coach, Matt LaFleur. He reiterated not once, but several times that they need to get Tucker Kraft more involved. And so I kind of expect him to get maybe one manufactured touch. And so what I mean by that is probably like a tight end screened. That's most likely what I'm expecting there. Or I don't necessarily see this, but it could be a play for like Travis Kelce from Friday night. I don't know if you guys caught that, where it was kind of like a fake pitch outside. Mahomes kind of steps up and then delivers a pass over the top to Kelce. Like that was a play specifically designed for Kelce. That's what I mean when I say manufactured touch. So he should at least get one of those. Then we just need, a few more catches throughout the game. And he has that talent to do that. Now, the matchup's not great. That's the slight concern there. But you also have a rookie, Matthew Golden, playing his first game. I'm very excited for Matthew Golden. Still a rookie. And then you have Romeo Doubs as well, who a little bit streaky. And so I think Tucker Kraft's going to be the safe, reliable option in that Packers offense. Now, here's another bet that I don't mind in regards to receptions. So I've already called out this game on another separate video, the betting video, the picks video, that I kind of think that the Giants have a sneaky chance to not only cover the plus 6.5 or 6 points that they're getting in this game. I think they could potentially win. You remember last year, the Giants played Washington extremely well. Like, had they had a kicker active, the Giants, they probably beat Washington in one of those games as well. Just a lot of mistakes on the Giants side, which could still happen. That doesn't really matter for this, but it also slightly does, because part of this is the game script. Washington is projected to win by a touchdown in this game. And so that could actually lead to some dump-offs going to Tyrone Tracy's way in the passing game. 2 reception for him is pretty low if that game script ends up happening where it's a negative game script for the Giants offense. I think this has a good chance to be a push to get to 2 receptions, but I also think maybe, with Russell Wilson there, maybe gets a couple more check downs his way. And we aren't getting this bet on PrizePicks, so I'm just going to show you guys it on Underdog. Again, you can, for week 1, I'm kind of fine with just taking stances on spots where you think you're getting an edge, because it is week 1. There's lots of unknown with the playing time and with players and talent and everything like that. And so as the season progresses, I will be suggesting just to place a lot of these top end bets on the cheat sheet that are, specifically being called out as good bets via what Vegas is expecting. I'm saying week 1, Vegas is going to be wrong a lot more and have some pretty egregious lines in some spots. And so I do want to talk about Xavier Legette, because I think there's a good chance he does get to over 3.5 receptions. I really like this matchup with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which was a very good matchup for opposing quarterbacks last year. And Legette just finds himself in a very prominent role in this offense now after the Panthers traded Adam Thielen and then Jalen Coker got injured. That really just leaves Legette and maybe the tight end Tommy Trumbull. He's expected back, Sanders as well, but it's really like those 3 in terms of receivers that he had chemistry with last year. Okay, now obviously McMillan's there, the rookie. They seem good in the preseason. I don't think we're worried about that. But there's really only 2 receivers there as well, Legette being one of them. Obviously, the other one being McMillan. He should get a bunch of targets. Like, the fact that this line of 5.5 targets is a slightly reduced payout, and we're getting the receptions at 3.5, that's kind of crazy to me. If he gets 6 targets, he better be able to get 4 receptions. Now, you never know. I think Bryce Young has taken the next step. And again, it is a good offense. And I will say, just the fact that this is a boosted payout right now on Underdog, again, it's going to differ by site, but that's a little bit surprising to me. And then another bet that I don't mind, I don't think we need to go crazy with it, but I do want to call out, it's going to be Dalton Schultz to get over 2.5 receptions. Now, this is a reduced payout. I don't know if I necessarily need to get to 3.5 receptions, but I do want to talk about it. Okay, so the projection data is giving him a line of 2.7 receptions, but really the part that I like about Dalton Schultz is when you look at the other pass catchers that are healthy in that offense, and especially in terms of having chemistry with CJ Stroud already, it's Dalton Schultz and Nico Collins. And that's kind of rooted in Houston Texans having a lot of players banged up and also trained John Mechie as well. But Christian Kirk is out. So we're going to see Higgins and Noel play a decent amount, it seems like, which I thought they looked fine in the preseason. We'll see. I tend to take a wait and see approach with rookies. But I do think that leads to Dalton Schultz getting more work in this game. And he does get a good matchup based off of last year's data going against the Rams, who were about the 3rd easiest matchup for opposing tight ends. So good spot there for Dalton Schultz as well. And then I do want to go ahead and talk about Demario Douglas. So if we just look at him, guys, and his fantasy score a little bit, we're going to talk about that just as an FYI. But I want to talk about his receptions line of 3.5. So Demario Douglas has been getting a lot of hype out of camp. Drake May, a lot of people are excited for as well. I think the hype's gone a little bit too ahead of itself there. I'm excited for him as well. I thought he looked good at the end of the year last year. Diggs is going to be healthy as well, which in a strange way could end up helping Demario Douglas, where if he has less offensive focus on him, Like, I think that actually kind of opens up the space a little bit more for him. But I don't mind to get over 3.5 receptions. Now, the projection day is basically the same. Yeah, he's going to get 3.5 receptions. But while we're here, I do want to talk about his fantasy score line. It is an interesting spot. Now, this did not work out for us on Friday Night Football with Noah Gray, but it's also just like an interesting thought when we're seeing his lines. Okay. And we are going to start to pivot more into fantasy score prop bets. So for anyone that does more just traditional sportsbook betting, I'll just give you guys the bet of the day then, just, more for those traditional sportsbooks. So I am showing you guys it via Underdog, but again, you can use that any other spot. You could also toss in Tyler Higbee again for over his receptions. I like that bet. I think that's a strong bet. I'm going to use that on PrizePicks. That's why it's not pictured here. But again, these would be the best I roll with. So again, if you guys are more traditional sports bettors, you could potentially get out of here. Leave a like though on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so before. Now we're getting into more PrizePicks and Underdog and Sleeper and those types of bets more, because we're going to be focusing on more fantasy score prop bets. And so yes, Demario Douglas, just look at this. So if he does end up getting 3.5 receptions and then 35.5 receiving yards, he is already at 7 for a fantasy score right there. Now, you are going to notice that there is a big prop line difference between his, line on Underdog and PrizePicks. And by all means, if you think he's going to have a good game, I could see it. I don't mind the over there on Underdog of 31.5 receiving yards. I think that's fine. But I didn't want to call it his fantasy score. That is why we are seeing a decent edge there as well. And then another player who kind of stands out to me fantasy score wise is Austin Ekeler here as well. Okay, so this is a bet where Vegas is actually telling us it's about a 50-50 split. I kind of like it a little bit more than that. Now, everyone is excited for Bill Merritt to see what he's going to do and see how much playing time he gets. Bill was listed as running back number 4 on the depth chart, but he was running back number 2 in the practices, like drills and whatnot. So I'm kind of expecting that to be the case, but I do expect Austin Ekeler to start at least hold his same role that he had last year, and if not, like in game 1, maybe it's a little bit more than that until they know truly what they have in Bill or Chris Rodriguez, if that's who it's going to be. Or maybe they just actually like Austin Ekeler and they feel like they can get the same production out of him as to what they're getting from Brian Robinson Jr., and that's why they traded him as well. We don't really know, but I think it's a safe bet to say Ekeler's role is going to stay the same. And this is more just me wanting to call Austin Ekeler in general. So if you look at it, they're giving him a line of like 2.5 receptions. They are going to say he's going to get 3 receptions basically with this goblin line here on PrizePicks. You could do 3.5 receptions. I think there's actually a good chance he is involved in the passing game in week 1 at least. But let's just say his line should be 3 receptions. And then you also do the 80 or so rush and receiving yards. He's already at 8 for his fantasy score. Okay, so that's a decent amount off from the 9.5. And so I think if you are betting on him, you are maybe choosing a spot, but he is someone that I do think, given his role for week 1, we are probably getting some big edges here. And then lastly, let's just go ahead and talk about the prop bets that are popping up as current plus EV bets right now on the 9-to-5 PrizePicks optimizer. It's going to be a little bit different for the Underdog optimizer, but looking at right now, Nick Chubb for under his fantasy score, not exactly a bet that I love. I think he will be solid to start the season, and then we'll see someone like Woody Marks, who I don't think right now he's a better rusher than Chubb or Dameon Pierce. I don't think he's a better third down back than Dario Gumbawale, but I do think overall Woody Marks is like the best at all those things, right? And so it'll be interesting to see if he gets more work as the season progresses. But Nick Chubb, with fresh legs, it seems like, I don't mind him. I actually think the average sportsbook line and the projections are a little bit too low on him. I think that's very much rooted on him just getting like 50 yards though. Okay, and if we pull up like his DFS projections, that's kind of what it's telling us. So they have him at like 0.5 receptions, the projection data does here. 11 rush attempts, 43 rushing yards there as well. And, not the best likely to score a touchdown. So yeah, if he scores a touchdown, he's going to get the over. If not, it is a tough line for him to get the over, especially if he's not catching the ball in the backfield. It is worth calling out that he did get reception though in the preseason. I doubt that's a sign of things to come. That's something you would do in the preseason, is get him a catch. From there, Aaron Rodgers going against his former team, the New York Jets. The thing with Aaron Rodgers is he looked good at the end of the year last year. Now he is going against the Jets defense that are they good? Are they bad? Who knows? It typically is a tough matchup. I do think that this is going to be a game in which the Jets are going to try to establish some run, just rush the football out. So it's going to keep the clock running. And we know Aaron Rodgers likes to run the clock down as well. So it should be a low scoring game, and that could cap his ability to get the over. But the average sportsbook line, the Vegas data is telling us to bet the under there. So I did want to call that one out there. Eric Iomanner there for the Tennessee Titans. This is a very low line for him as well. He should start. This is a game that the game script should be in favor of him regardless. If this game ends up being a blowout that Vegas is expecting it to be, he should still get a decent amount of work. Whereas like Tyler Lockett, Calvin Ridley, maybe they miss out on a drive or two, if it really gets out of hand. Cam Ward's first start, you worry about that. I don't think we have to worry about that with, sorry, I always say Eric. It's Alec Iomanner there, sorry. I don't think we have to worry about that with him. I think the playing time's secure, and that could be something that actually benefits him. So not a massive edge, but 5 is pretty low. And again, what we're kind of looking at through a PrizePicks lens, they're saying he's going to get about 20.5 receiving yards, which I would say is right. They have a demon line for him at 2.5 receptions, so they're kind of just saying he's not going to get to 3 receptions. Good chance he gets to 2. And so, yeah, looking at 5, 2 receptions, 20 receiving yards, that's only 4. So I don't think it's like a massive edge, just like with Nick Chubb. But I could see why Vegas is saying that. And then Marvin Mims, a big prop line difference for him between how Underdog and PrizePicks are valuing him. And we're going to notice that the Underdog line is probably the outlier here, where you probably want to be betting on the under. Now, I do think Denver is going to win this game, but I do think it's a game where they're probably going to get the lead early and then just try to rush the football a bunch. And so Mims might be someone that's not needed that much in this game. And so that's where I'm more inclined to bet on the under on Underdog rather than on PrizePicks. But if you guys think he's going to have a good game, it really doesn't take much for him to get there. 8 fantasy score. Don't hate that. But again, I like the under a little bit more. We're getting plenty of other prop bets that are popping up with about a 53% likelihood to hit. If you guys like any of those, by all means, target those. I'll be updating more throughout the day tomorrow morning there as well. And then before we get into that PrizePicks bet of the day, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not done so before. Again, if you guys are interested in maybe sign up for Underdog, if you guys have never done so before, PrizePicks, Sleeper, or better, make sure you use the links in the description below. It's just a simple and easy way to help out the channel, guys, and just take advantage of those deals that they have going on at the start of the season, whether it be deposit matches via the promo code or the free squares that they have available as well through their site. Like, they're trying to give you money at the start of the season. Take advantage of that. If you can support another book, I should make that clear. Like, I don't saying like don't do that if you can't. Like, a lot of people, they start opening more books and they start to struggle. Okay, like if you can do that. If not, I understand. But anyways, let's get into that final bet. Apologies for that. Just a 2-slip bet here. Again, if you're betting on PrizePicks and want to use any of those 4+ EV bets that we had, by all means, go for it. I talked you through like Nick Chubb and Iomanner there for the Tennessee Titans. If you guys like those bets, you can use those. And I do remind you guys, this is an extension off of the deep dive video that I already did as well. But Tyler Higbee over 2.5 receptions, Demario Douglas over 3.5 receptions there as well. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys would like access to any of the 9-to-5 tools, the PrizePicks Optimizer, the Underdog Optimizer, the PrizePicks cheat sheets, the NFL DFS cheat sheets, all that stuff, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Get all those tools for a low monthly cost of $10 a month. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.